October 2025. In the heart of the Appalachian Mountains, there was a place that didn't appear on most maps anymore, Black Ridge. Years ago, hikers stopped talking about it. Not because nothing happened there, but because those who came back refused to. Lucas Harper wasn't the type to believe ghost stories. At 32, he made a living filming abandoned places across America. Old hospitals, forgotten mines, haunted hotels. Millions watched his videos because Lucas always found a logical explanation. Ghost? Broken pipes. Whispers. The wind. Moving shadows? Bad lighting. Until one email changed everything. The sender had no name, no profile picture, only one sentence. If you want to prove ghosts aren't real, spend one night on Black Ridge. Attached was a single photo, an old fire lookout tower standing alone on top of a mountain. Behind it, nothing but endless forest. Lucas smiled. Perfect. 3 days later, he parked his truck near an abandoned ranger station. The place looked frozen in time. Broken windows, rusted warning signs, an American flag hanging in tatters. One sign still stood. It read, "Black Ridge Trail, enter at your own risk." The word risk had been scratched so deeply into the wood, it looked like someone had used a knife. As Lucas unpacked his cameras, an old man stepped out from behind the ranger station. Gray beard, orange hunting jacket, weathered face. He stared at Lucas without blinking. "You going up there?" Lucas nodded. "For YouTube?" The old man sighed. "Turn around." Lucas laughed. "I've heard every ghost story in America." The old man shook his head. "This isn't a ghost story. It's a warning." Lucas asked, "So what's supposed to happen?" The old man looked toward the mountain, then quietly answered, "The mountain learns your name." Lucas chuckled. "What does that even mean?" The hunter didn't answer. Instead, he asked one strange question. "Did you come here alone?" Lucas frowned. "Yeah." The old man's face turned pale. "No. You only think you did." A cold breeze swept through the trees. For just a second, Lucas could have sworn he heard someone whisper, "Lucas." He spun around. Nothing. Only the forest. He checked his audio recorder. Silence. "No way that's going in the video," he laughed. The hike began at noon. The trail was beautiful. Golden autumn leaves, fresh mountain air, crystal clear streams. It felt impossible that this place had such a dark reputation. Every few hundred yards, Lucas noticed strange wooden markers. No words, no numbers, just carved eyes. Hundreds of them, all facing uphill, as if they were watching whoever climbed. After 2 hours, his GPS stopped working. No signal, compass spinning wildly, battery dropping for no reason. Lucas rolled his eyes. Cheap equipment. He kept walking. Then, he found footprints. Bare feet, in the freezing mud, fresh, leading toward the mountain. He looked around. No one. Only silence. The sun disappeared earlier than expected. By 5 o'clock, the forest was almost dark. That's when Lucas saw it. The fire lookout tower, standing on the edge of the mountain, exactly like the photo, waiting, almost expecting him. He climbed inside. Dust covered everything. An old radio sat on a table. The last inspection date. October 1987. Lucas set up his cameras, placed motion sensors around the tower, started recording. He smiled into the lens. "If ghosts exist, tonight, I'm finally going to meet one." At exactly 7:13 p.m., the dead radio crackled to life. A voice whispered through the static, slow, broken, cold. "Lucas." "You're late." Lucas froze. The radio had no batteries. And then, something heavy walked beneath the tower. One, slow, footstep. At a time, the old fire lookout tower trembled. Thud. A heavy footstep echoed beneath the wooden floor. Lucas held his flashlight tightly, forcing himself to stay calm. "This has to be an animal," he whispered. "A bear. Maybe an elk. Anything but what his imagination was trying to create." He grabbed another camera and pointed it through the tower's floor gaps. Nothing. Just darkness. Then, thud. Another step. Closer. The tower creaked. Lucas slowly walked toward the staircase. He shined his flashlight down. Empty. No animal, no person, no movement. Only the wind. And a strange smell. Wet earth, old wood. And something metallic, like fresh blood. Trying to shake off the feeling, Lucas returned to the camera. He checked the live recording. Everything looked normal, until he noticed something. In the camera view, someone was standing behind him. A tall figure, completely black, too tall to be human. Lucas spun around instantly. Nothing. The tower was empty. His breathing became faster. He looked back at the monitor. The figure was gone. Great. Camera glitch. He tried convincing himself, but deep down, he didn't believe it anymore. At exactly 8:04 p.m., his satellite phone buzzed. One missed call, no number, no caller ID. Impossible. There was no signal here. The phone rang again. Lucas answered. Silence. Then, his own voice spoke. Lucas, don't look outside. He froze. It wasn't similar to his voice. It was his voice. Every breath, every pause, exactly the same. The call ended. For almost 5 minutes, nothing happened. Only silence. Then curiosity won. Lucas walked toward the window. Slowly, carefully. He looked outside. The forest stood perfectly still. Not a single branch moved. No wind, no insects, nothing. Then, he noticed someone standing near the tree line, about 100 feet away. A woman, wearing an old park ranger uniform. She wasn't moving, she wasn't waving, she was simply watching. Lucas zoomed in with his camera. The woman's face was hidden by shadows, but one detail stood out. She had no flashlight, no backpack, no equipment, no reason to survive alone on this mountain. Lucas shouted, "Hey!" No answer. "Are you okay?" The woman slowly raised one hand. Not to wave, to point behind him. Lucas turned instantly. Nothing. When he looked back outside, the woman had disappeared. The motion sensor near the stairs beeped. Movement detected. Lucas rushed toward the screen. Camera 3. The staircase, frame by frame. Something climbed upward, but only its shadow appeared, not its body. As if light could see it, but human eyes couldn't. Each frame showed the shadow one step higher, until it reached the top. The next frame was completely black. Every camera shut off at the same time. The tower radio crackled again. A different voice this time. An old woman's voice, soft, almost kind. "If it knows your name, it already knows your memories." Lucas frowned. "What are you talking about?" The radio answered. "It doesn't hunt people. It becomes them." The lights on every camera suddenly turned back on. Lucas quickly reviewed the footage. His blood ran cold. The cameras had been recording the entire time, but during the blackout, they didn't record darkness. They recorded Lucas, walking outside the tower, standing beside the trees, smiling, looking directly into the camera. The timestamp read 8:12 p.m. But Lucas had never left the tower. He was certain. Then the recording ended with one chilling sentence. His own voice looked into the lens and smiled. "I'm almost inside." A loud knock hit the tower door. 3 slow knocks. Knock. 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 Lucas approached carefully. "Who's there?" Silence. Then, a familiar voice answered, "Lucas, it's me." His heart stopped. It was impossible, because the voice outside was Lucas Harper's, exactly like his own. And then, the door handle slowly began to turn. The door handle turned, slowly, deliberately. Lucas stepped back, gripping the heavy flashlight with both hands. His heart pounded so loudly he could barely hear anything else. Then, the knocking stopped. Silence. 30 seconds passed. 1 minute. Nothing. Lucas gathered his courage and looked through the small window in the door. No one. The wooden platform outside was empty. He opened the door just a few inches. Cold mountain air rushed inside. The platform was deserted. But something caught his eye. Fresh footprints. They began at the stairs, walked to the door, then ended, not turned around, not walked away. They simply stopped, as if whoever made them had vanished into thin air. Lucas slammed the door shut. At 9:17 p.m., another strange sound echoed through the tower. Not from outside, from upstairs. The tower had only one room. There was no upstairs. Yet, he clearly heard someone walking above him. Creak, creak, creak. Lucas looked up. The ceiling was only a few feet above his head. There was no space for anyone. Still, the footsteps continued, slow, patient, following his every move. Then the old radio came alive again. This time, the voice sounded terrified. A man's voice. "If you're hearing footsteps above you, don't answer." Static. Then another sentence. "It learns faster when you speak." The signal died. Lucas decided he couldn't stay until morning. He packed his cameras and rushed down the stairs. The moon lit the trail just enough to see. He started running downhill. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15. Then he froze. The fire lookout tower stood in front of him, exactly where he had started. He stared in disbelief. "I've been running downhill." He turned around. The trail behind him also led back to the tower. No matter which direction he walked, every path returned to the same place. The mountain had become a maze. Suddenly his headlamp flickered. For one brief second, he saw dozens of people standing between the trees. Men, women, children, perfectly still, watching him. When the light stabilized, the forest was empty again. Lucas forced himself to breathe. This isn't real. I'm hallucinating. But then, his camera beeped. Face detected. He checked the screen. The camera had automatically focused on a face hidden deep in the darkness. He zoomed in. It wasn't a stranger. It was Lucas, standing among the trees, wearing the same jacket, the same backpack, the same baseball cap. The other, Lucas smiled, then slowly raised one finger, pointing behind the real Lucas. Lucas refused to turn around. He remembered the woman from earlier, the pointing, the trap. "I'm not falling for it." The other Lucas smiled wider, then silently mouthed 3 words. "Too late now." The camera battery instantly died. A cold whisper floated through the forest, not from one direction, from everywhere. "Lucas! Lucas! Lucas!" Hundreds of voices, all saying his name. Some sounded young, some old, some crying, some laughing. The mountain wasn't echoing. It was remembering every person who had ever answered. Lucas sprinted back into the tower and barricaded the door with a heavy table. His breathing was ragged. Then he noticed something lying on the floor. A leather journal. He was certain it hadn't been there before. On the first page was written, "Property of Ranger Emily Carter, October 12, 1987. Lucas turned the pages. The handwriting became shakier with each entry. "The voices know our names." Another page. Mark disappeared after answering one. Another. "The copies aren't perfect." Lucas frowned. Copies? The final readable page made his blood run cold. "If you ever meet yourself, don't let it inside." The rest of the pages had been ripped out. Just then, a calm voice came from outside the barricaded door. "Lucas, I know you found Emily's journal." It was his own voice again. "But she forgot to write the last page." Lucas stayed silent. The voice continued. "The copy doesn't stay outside forever. It replaces you. Only if you believe you're the original." Lucas's hands began to shake. For the first time that night, a terrifying question entered his mind. What if the one inside the tower wasn't the real Lucas anymore? The flashlight suddenly went out. The room fell into complete darkness. And from somewhere, inside the tower, not outside, a voice whispered right beside his ear, "I finally found you." Darkness swallowed the tower. Lucas couldn't see his own hands. Only one thing remained: breathing. Not one set. 2. One was his. The other was standing only a few feet away. The flashlight suddenly flickered back to life. Lucas swung the beam across the room. Empty. No one. Then he looked toward the dusty window. Someone was staring back at him. It was Lucas. Same face. Same clothes. Same terrified expression. The only difference, The one outside wasn't breathing. It simply smiled. Without warning, the tower radio exploded with static. Then a clear female voice spoke. Calm. Urgent. Lucas, listen carefully. You still have one chance. It was Ranger Emily Carter. Or at least, her voice. The mountain doesn't feed on bodies. It feeds on identity. It wants someone to believe the copy is real. If you stop believing, it can't replace you. The radio went silent forever. Lucas remembered the journal. The copies aren't perfect. He stared at the figure outside, looking for a mistake, anything. Then he noticed it. The copy smiled. Before Lucas did, just a fraction of a second too early, like it already knew what he was about to do. That wasn't imitation. That was prediction. The copy slowly opened the tower door. Lucas hadn't unlocked it, yet it walked inside, calmly, without a sound. They stood face to face. Two identical men, one mountain, one identity. The copy tilted its head. You've been asking the wrong question, Lucas whispered. Who are you? The copy smiled. No. The question is, who are you? Suddenly, memories flooded Lucas's mind. Flashes. Not from his life, from someone else's. A family crying outside the mountain. A missing hiker poster. A search helicopter. An old ranger station. Dozens of frightened faces. People who looked exactly like him. Then he saw a date. October 1987. The same year Emily disappeared. Lucas gasped. No. The copy nodded. You weren't the first. You won't be the last. Outside, the forest came alive. Hundreds of whispers drifted through the trees. Every missing person, every forgotten hiker, every lost ranger, all repeating the same sentence. Leave while you still remember your name. Lucas closed his eyes. He stopped looking at the copy, stopped listening to it, stopped questioning himself. He said his full name out loud. My name is Lucas Harper. I know who I am. Again. Louder. My name is Lucas Harper. The whispers grew weaker. The copy's smile began to crack. Its skin rippled like water. Its face blurred. Then, it screamed. Not in anger, in fear. For the first time, the mountain was losing. The entire tower shook violently. Windows shattered. The floor split beneath Lucas's feet. The copy reached toward him. Its hands stretched impossibly long, almost touching him. Lucas grabbed Emily's journal and threw it into the old wood stove. The pages ignited instantly. A bright orange flame filled the tower. The copy let out one final, inhuman cry, then dissolved into black ash. Outside, the whispers stopped. The wind returned. For the first time all night, the forest sounded alive. Birds, leaves, silence. Real silence. At sunrise, Lucas stumbled down the mountain, exhausted, shaken, but alive. Search and rescue teams found him near the abandoned ranger station. They asked where he'd spent the night. Lucas looked back toward Black Ridge. The lookout tower was gone. Only empty sky remained, as if it had never existed. Months later, Lucas uploaded the footage. Millions watched. Most people called it the greatest horror hoax on YouTube. Others claimed the videos had been edited. Lucas never argued. He simply archived the raw files and moved on. Or at least, he tried to. One rainy evening, he sat alone in his apartment editing a new video. His computer suddenly displayed a notification. Unknown device connected. Lucas frowned. He hadn't plugged anything in. A new video file appeared on his desktop. He never created it. The timestamp read, "Recorded tomorrow." Hands shaking, he clicked play. The video began with Lucas sitting exactly where he was now. Same room, same clothes, same rain outside the window. The Lucas in the video slowly looked into the camera, then smiled. Not Lucas's smile, the mountain's smile. he whispered. You never left Black Ridge. The screen turned black. A final line appeared in white letters. Some mountains don't keep your body, they keep your name. 1 year later, another traveler stopped at the abandoned ranger station. He noticed an old wooden sign that read, Black Ridge Trail. Beneath it, someone had carved 2 chilling words. Lucas was here. The traveler frowned. Who's Lucas? Before anyone could answer, but a whisper drifted through the trees. You're next.